欢迎看真观点，我是珍飞。一天没见了，大家还好吗？今天对于川普竞选团队来说，可以说是相当关键的一天。在亚利桑那州举行了一场至关重要的听证会，但是就在同一时间，亚利桑那的州政府在欺诈疑云的笼罩下，依然宣布认证了大选结果。在宾州，作为立法机构的州议会正式提出了一项决议，对州长此前单方面认证的选举结果提出了异议，要求撤回认证。而且川普团队希望宾州的议会能够直接任命选举人。但是今天是宾州议会今年的最后一次会期，这能否成功实现呢？所以今天我们重点来关注这两个州，包括亚利桑那州听证会上让朱利安尼都快惊掉下巴的精彩看点哦。开始之前呢，还是一样别忘了订阅，打开旁边的小铃铛，这样就不会错过未来精彩的节目内容啦。我们先来看看亚利桑那的听证会上的精彩细节。第一个证人是 Wondron 上校，这位上校有丰富的军队经验，是信息战领域的专家。他表示，从今年的8月份，自己就开始研究选票机操控大选的问题。他说呢，这一次是一次信息战。
The American populace is facing an unconventional warfare scenario, and this is information warfare.
在他的发言中呢，有几个重中之重的证据。第一个就是他的团队已经证实了 Dominion 作弊机是有联网的。他说他们维护网络安全的白帽黑客监测到了网络流量和数据包被传输到了德国的法兰克福。
So are you willing to say under oath that you have seen the connection to the internet? You have seen it go offshore to Germany, Frankfurt. Are these things that you have personally seen and can say that is not true?
Our white hat hackers, yes, they have that traffic in the packets.
不过大家还记不记得前任的网络安全局局长 Christopher Crabb 现在已经被炒鱿鱼了。当时呢，他还评价今年大选投票是美国史上最安全的一次呢。
Either not knowing, believing the myth, or not wanting the truth to be known.
还有这位上校呢，还透露了通过 USB 直接注入选票到作弊机当中，从而改变选票的数量。这个问题，川普总统前2天也有发推文说，一个 USB 可以注入5万的选票给拜登。现在呢，已经有47个 USB 丢失了。紧接着，他还秀出了一封匿名邮件，这一封邮件CC 了所有亚利桑那州立法成员。发信人说想要协助调查本州的舞弊行为，而且呢，这一位发信人自己都已经调查出了很多的数据来了，说从1月3号开票夜，民主党就有注入选票的行为。上校说，这也与他们的数据刚好相吻合。邮件中说，在匹马郡被注入了35000张的选票给到了民主党这边，而且是平均分配给了每个民主党的候选参议员。
In a meeting I was invited to by the Democrat Party in Pima County, Arizona, on September 10th, 2020, no phones or recording devices were allowed. A presentation was given, including detailed plans to embed 35,000 in a spread configured distribution to each Democrat candidate's vote totals. When I asked how in the world that will 35,000 votes be kept hidden from being discovered, it was stated that spread distribution will be embedded across the total registered voter range and will not exceed the registered vote count. And the 35,000 was determined allowable for Pima County based on our county registered vote count. It was also stated that total voter turnout versus total registered voters determine how many votes we can embed.
还有一位退休的大学教授参与了监票工作。他说，最开始呢，他被安置在了一个只能够看到电脑背面的地方，后来在他的要求之下，换到了稍稍能够看到电脑屏幕的位置。紧接着呢，他就看到了其中一台电脑屏幕的右下方有一个黄标，他很好奇，就往前走了走，到能看清黄标的位置。黄标上居然写着 low confidence， 就是可信度低。再细看看，发现原因是每张选票上的签名都不匹配，看上去呢就是乱画的。
The signature on the ballot that was being compared to other signatures didn't even resemble in any way what they were comparing it to. They were completely illegible. They were just scribbles on the ballot. And there were 5 screeners screening low confidence ballots for an entire afternoon that I was in there.
那整个下午他看到有5台电脑都出现了黄标， 因为他那个位置总共也就能看到5台电脑，也就是说，在他所有的视线范围之内看到的电脑都出现了选票可信度低的这一个黄标。接着他又去问这黄标到底是怎么回事呢？得到答复是，不用担心，这是新系统测试。突然间又发生了服务器断电的情况，但是当时的房间的灯都没有灭，只有服务器挂了。奇迹呢就在后来来电之后出现了。服务器恢复工作之后，所有他刚刚看到的黄标全部清一色的变成了绿色，上面写着 High Confidence， 就是可信度高。
I don't know if it was coincidental that there was an outage, and I don't really know what all that means, but what was evident to me was the signatures that were going through there were not what they were trying to compare to.
疑似宕机，可信度1秒由低变成了高，我们可以细品品。
Oh, I did ask Celia what happened to those votes. Were they counted? And I may have already said this, I don't think I did, but she said, yes, they were counted.
之后在朱利安尼的询问中他还透露了更多神奇的信息。
So, how many Republican observers were there in addition to you?
We were allowed one Republican and one other party in the room. That's it.
For the entire room?
For the entire room.
And you were expected to cover 90 tables?
Yes.
还有，他说当时看到运进来的选票都是已经被打开过了的，选票的信封全部都是开着口的，惊人吧？朱利安尼惊到眼珠子都快要掉下来了。他还说了很多的异常现象呢。
The press came in the second day that I was there. The two women that had been in a quality assurance role, is what I was told. All of a sudden, they were sitting at a table like this, one on each side, and they were processing the ballots very close to me. And the press was able to take pictures of us so that they could see that there were observers close to them, and they would get behind me, and they were directed that I was an observer. So they were trying to get pictures, including me in that, was the impression that I was given.
他最后说在经历了这一次监票之后，他原本以为美国有着很严谨的投票系统，但是现在他的这种观念已经被打破了。
That belief has been shaken by this experience. It truly has. And I'm truly concerned for our future as a nation and as a state.
他很担心美国的未来，他很希望州政府能够通过这一次的听证会做出诚实的决定。还有一位戴着漂亮帽子的女士证人，她是当地的一名计票员。她说发现了同一个签名居然出现在了10多个不同姓名的选票上。之后在她做复制选票的工作时她亲眼看到，在她把写着川普名字的选票输入系统后，点击确认，系统显示的却成了拜登的。
We reported this to the supervisors, and others in the room commented that they had witnessed the same manipulation. We were never told what, if any, corrective action was taken. All I know is the next day I was called outside the room that I was working in signature verification, and I was being the one that was scolded. And I was told at that point in time I could not discuss anything or talk about what was going on, as many people were threatened, because they were told that their voices would be suppressed. They would be either have to leave the room and not work there again. I'm here because I think this is our duty to speak the truth and tell the truth.
这位女士的证词完美的跟之前爆出的 Dominion 做笔记的系统问题吻合上了，是不是非常的惊喜啊？还有一位 Liz Harris 女士说，这一次她去投票的时候呢，为了留下证明做了 Facebook 直播，真聪明。但是这一次的投票经历呢，让她非常的失望。
With what I personally witnessed, the testimony we're hearing today, and the research I have buried myself in since the election day, I heavily doubt that Arizona has a secure system. On election day, I visited 8 voting centers. Each voting center had approximately 2 people in blue shirts marked poll observers. They were all uniformed and all Democrat. Interestingly, when I and others spoke to them, the majority was from California.
加州来的检票员监督亚利桑那的投票，这是一把什么操作？
While I was visiting the polls, I can testify to 3 polling locations that basically broke down in the middle of people voting. And what happened was those lines of people were sent home, not sent home, but sent to other locations to go vote elsewhere. That was all questionable. All sorts of stories, they ran out of ink, they ran out of, nothing made sense. Several days after the election, I asked the AZ GOP for a sample of voters over the age of 90. Using a nationally known background checker, I found a third deceased, a third where I could not find a record of the person existing or a social security number tied to the person, and then a third who are alive and well. This led me to ask for a larger sample size. I got a really large sample size of 30,600. We did 3 audits, and actually on some we did a quadruple audit, but more importantly than the dead voters was the voter whose identity we could not verify or find a record of. And that consistently ran at 10%. Now, if you take that 10% and you look at 3.3 million voters, that is right in line with what Bobby Piton just presented to you.
Bobby Piton 是之前发表了曝光亚利桑那州舞弊数据的人，曝光之后呢，他也被推特封号了。还有一位叫做 Jane 的女士是第一次监票，但是根据她自己多年的管理经验，依然发现了很多问题。
Two things. One, Dominion employees were the only ones that were running any of that equipment. So no, and I was in the tabulation center 6 different days, day and night shifts. And no county employees, no IT people, no one else was touching any of the software. And I brought that up on my very first day in the room. I said, this doesn't seem right. As a person with my background, never in a million years would I turn my company's most important thing over to someone else. And there's only 2 guys, and they had the whole control of everything. And I just want to say, I am retired. I'm here because I don't want to cry, but I love my country, and I never thought in a million years I would have to be here talking about stuff like this. So.
Yes, ma'am.
最大的亮点呢，当然就是我们最喜欢的川普总统再一次打电话打进了听证会的现场。他感谢现场的参与者和证人，一样呢还特别表扬了朱利安尼，夸得老朱啊脸都红了。
Incredible, and I want to say. We got 74 million votes, but this was a scam, and we have to get down to the bottom of it. I want to thank Rudy and his team for doing such an incredible job and for having the courage to leave because they were threatened. And I told Rudy the other day, what you're doing right now concerning the elections of United States President and other elections, but concerning the election of the President of the United States, and as good as being mayor was, and so important, but this is far more important, is the most important thing you've ever done. So I want to thank Rudy, I want to thank all of the political representatives, and I want to thank all of the incredible witnesses for showing bravery and love of your country.
除了这一些现场的证人之外，还有数据专家也在作证这一次大选舞弊的猫腻。Matt 布莱纳德是前川普团队的首席数据分析师，他通过对照各种数据库中的选民信息，比如说打电话给邮寄选票的选民问，是不是真的是你邮寄选票啊？结果他说出了这句话
But I have no confidence that Joe Biden is the deserved winner of this election based on our findings and the current results of the election in the states of Wisconsin, Georgia, and Arizona, and potentially other states. He may have won, he may not have won. Trump may have lost, Trump may have been reelected. We just can't know because of how bad this election system has operated, because of all the problems that it has allowed that I brought to your attention.
11个小时的听证会，我们选取的呢都只是一小部分，但是真的很开心，这么多的证人能够站出来作证，他们都是在维护着美国的选举公正。Matt 说的一段话特别让人感慨。
A couple of weeks ago, I was talking to a friend of mine in Russia, and I asked him, what's going on with the politics over there? Because we've got a big election coming up over here. I'd like to know what's going on in your country. And he answered, well, nothing. Because over there, there's so much cynicism that what people do doesn't matter. Because they believe, and maybe they're right, I don't know, that the regime over there decides the outcome of the election, that the voting does not matter. It doesn't affect the outcome, so why bother? Why invest the time? Why get excited? Why to try to change your country for the better if it isn't going to matter? And that left an impression on me. And the point I want to make here is that we cannot afford to become cynical like the citizens of Russia are, or other countries where votes don't seem to matter.
和几天前的宾州听证会一样，这一次亚利桑那的听证会我觉得也是川普形势好转的一大象征。听证会后，宾州议会作为立法机构已经出手了，要求州政府撤回对选举结果的认证。今天这一个决议已经转到了宾州的众议院了，如果通过，这对川普来说对坚持公正选举的选民来说意义重大。为什么呢？我们来说一下背景。川普总统的律师朱利安尼曾经透露，川普团队目前2大策略，一个是法律战，第二个呢就是游说关键州的州议会。为什么要游说州议会呢？我们就得搞清楚这里面的逻辑。首先，因为州议会是州立法机构，那么美国宪法可是明确规定了，州立法机构就是州议会，拥有选举人团代表的唯一权利。就是说呢，州议会有独自指定选举人的唯一权利。我们都知道嘛，美国的选举是选举人团制度，12月14号去投票的其实都是选举人。那么在什么样的情况下州议会可以行使这个权利呢？就是判断普选出的选举结果合不合法。如果不合法，州议会就有权废除这一个选举人，然后另行指定其他的选举人。不仅如此，宪法还赋予了州立法机构，就是州议会，就选举违规和欺诈问题举行听证会的权利。这就是3个关键州宾州、亚利桑那和密歇根举行听证会的由来了。这些呢，可都是为了防止选民舞弊和操纵选举提供了关键的保障啊。以宾州的情况为例，州议会质疑了宾州的行政机构，就是州政府，包括州长、州务卿和司法部门篡夺立法机构制定的选举规则。具体是什么呢？包括宾州的高院曾经单方面非法的延长了接收邮寄选票的最后期限，而且把没有邮戳的选票当作即时有效的选票，而且呢还同意接收签名没经核实的选票。在应州务卿的请求之后，高院还裁定邮寄选票上的签名不需要经过验证。这一些呢其实都是擅自更改并且违反了宾州的选举法，所以立法机构州议会就要站出来保护选举公正，收回任命选举人的权利。有意思的是，宾州议会参众两院都掌握在共和党的手中，如果是由议会来选出选举人，相信对于川普总统是非常有利的。而且不只是宾州，6个关键的摇摆州里，除了内华达州，其他5个州的议会参众两院都是共和党人占多数。所以这5个州的州议会呢，如果都出手的话，那就又是让大家开心的好消息了。我们很多朋友留言说看大选新闻简直就像过山车，心里七上八下的，千万不要这样哦。我们关注是关注，但是焦虑呢就不好了，对心情和对身体都是不好的。您看我们的节目，一下说有利，一下又说有变数，其实呢也只是想给大家一个客观和辩证的参考。我也不好意思总是一味的举着啦啦队旗跟你们说川普一定赢一定赢吧。虽然我对这个结果呢是坚定不移的，但是咱中国人自古有句话嘛，邪不胜正。所以呢这个结果我当然坚信，但是还是希望能够在节目当中把一些问题给剖析出来，供大家思考。那我们反过来说，如果州政府行政机构单方面的认证了不合法的选举结果，那也会付出代价。朱利安尼曾经说过，考虑到一个州的计票结果是假的，就不应该认证它，如果认证了就犯了伪证罪。做伪证在美国是一项很重的联邦犯罪，一经定罪，最高会判5年的监禁。这个时候牵扯在舞弊系统当中的反水的兄弟姐妹可是随时会出现的，应该不会有人把这种事儿当儿戏。所以呢，这无疑是个非常好的提醒，谁还敢无视事实，故意做伪证，自己心里都得掂量掂量了。不过有点悬的是，11月30号是宾州议会今年的最后一次会议了，议会会不会达成自行任命选举人的决定？ 而宾州的州长到底会不会遵从州议会的要求，撤销选举结果认证呢？我们还得看。可以简单的预测一下吧，如果撤销的话，对川普来说肯定就是一大胜利；如果不撤销，那宾州州长极有可能会成为被告。因为刚刚我们说了，他的行为已经触犯了州法，就是各州应该按照州议会的规定来进行选举，而不是由州长或者选举委员会来主导。接下来在亚利桑那，我想也很可能会出现类似的情况，尽管州长和州务卿认证了，但是也不无议会会出来插手截停的可能，而且我觉得这个可能性还不小。接下来的情况呢，我们一定会继续追踪的，所以记得订阅真观点哦。你们想我做什么话题，留言告诉我，我一定会努力满足大家的。好啦，感谢您观看今天的真观点，我是珍妃，我们很快再会喽。